news stories for you. Firstly, once again, today Sunnis took to the streets of main cities and towns. They managed to reach presidential palace in Khartoum. What happened after that? We have some updates for you. Secondly, a famous writer of the Horn of Africa, Tesfaye Gebreab, has died. He died in Nairobi, Kenya. Some journalists are calling for investigation into his death. Why is that people are calling for investigation into the circumstances surrounding his death? He is one of the famous writers of this region of Ethiopia, Eritrea, Oromia. Thirdly, viewers, we have an update for you from Abala Tigray Afar border. Abala is in Afar, where artillery strikes were reported. Then we saw reports from Tigray-backed news sources that innocent Tigrayans were killed in Abala. And Afar news sources accused a Tigrayan population of the town of backing TDF fighters, which allegedly tried to enter Abala. What's the latest on this front? What's happening there? And lastly, viewers, rumors are going around that CEO of Ethiopian Airlines has fled the country. Who is he? Firstly, viewers, Sudan, once again, massive protests were seen in major towns, especially in Khartoum, Omdurman today. Omdurman Khartoum bridge was closed, but protesters managed to reach Khartoum once again. They managed to reach presidential palace in Khartoum, then heavy shelling happened. Tear gas shells were fired on protesters. Some chemicals were used as well to disperse the protesters in these tear gas shells. The protesters have retreated from presidential palace, but they have announced to launch another such protest on the 30th of December. Protesters are not stepping back, viewers. They come, they are tear gassed, they plan another protest. They are keeping the pressure upon Abdul Fattah al-Burhan, Sudanese army chief, and Abdullah Hamdok, Sudanese prime minister as well. Hamdok was about to resign, viewers, but then he held a meeting with Abdul Fattah al-Burhan. He changed his mind. But protesters are not changing their mind. They are pressing ahead with their regular protests. Watch a video clip of today's protests, then the next news story. Secondly, viewers, a famous, well-known writer of the region, Horn of Africa, has died. Tesfaye Gebreab. He died in Nairobi, Kenya, I think yesterday. Condolences from me to the family of the writer. He led a very controversial literary life, viewers. He was part of Dergi, Mengistu Haile Mariam regime. Then he became part of the coalition led by TPLF, which ruled Ethiopia, EPRDF. Then he championed the cause of Oromos. He was awarded the title of Gada, which is a title very significant, very important for Oromo elders. And lastly, he was said to be on Eritrean government side. People said that he had close ties with Eritrean government. He has died in Nairobi, Kenya. He remained in exile in South Africa, in some European countries too. His death should be investigated. Circumstances surrounding his death should be investigated. He led a very controversial life, that is why. And secondly, reportedly he shared a post on one of his social media accounts in which he asked for help. The post was later removed. It was said that his account had been hacked. And some journalists have been saying for several months that his life could be in danger. So while people, especially Oromos, are mourning the death of Tesfaye, I think Kenyan government should launch some investigation into the death of Tesfaye Gebreab. He was a great writer with exceptional literary skills. So that is why, if there are some questions, Kenyan government must look into the questions. Thirdly, viewers, Abala front, Afar Tigray border. Abala is in Afar. The town was under artillery strikes from Tigray Defense Force. What is the latest on this front? Well, people are fleeing Abala. Massive displacements are being seen from Abala to other places. And Afar news sources say that artillery strikes from Tigray side are still continuing. And it seems that Abala is going to become a sort of buffer zone between Tigray and Afar. TDF does not want any entry into Tigray from Abala side, though we have not seen any reports that ENDF and Eritrean or other forces are trying to enter Tigray from this side. But these artillery strikes show that TDF is trying to keep this road, Abala-Makele road, under pressure. Displacements are being seen, and secondly, Tigray-backed news sources say that scores of innocent Tigrayans were killed in Abala by other ethnic group members. Afar news sources say that Tigrayans in Abala, they took up arms against Afar fighters. They supported Tigray fighters when Tigray fighters tried to enter Abala. That is why some of them were killed in fighting. Investigation must be done, viewers. What makes me sad about this, about Ethiopia, is that people are dying in large numbers. We don't know what's happening on the ground. We don't see any investigations which are independent, which are accepted by all parties. So parties will keep on fighting, civilians will be killed. That is why Ethiopia should do only one thing, that it should establish an independent investigative body, independent prosecution body, independent courts to prosecute those who are involved in civilian killings. That is the only solution to ongoing Ethiopian ethnic conflicts. Otherwise, people will keep on dying. You'll never know who was the victim, who was the perpetrator. Lastly, some Tigray-backed news sources are sharing unconfirmed reports that CEO of Ethiopian Airlines has fled the country. His name is Tesfaye Gebreab. He is a Tigrayan, a very skilled professional. He is said to be behind the success of Ethiopian Airlines, or one of the top airlines in Africa, perhaps the topmost airline in Africa. He has fled the country, it is being rumored. We have not seen any statement from Ethiopian Airlines or Tesfaye Gebreab so far, but speculations are going around that he has fled the country. He was under pressure. Ethiopian Airlines was accused of transporting weapons. So, Tigray-backed news sources, they have been claiming that this airline was involved in transporting weapons and government soldiers. Airline denied all these allegations. We'll try to update you about Tesfaye Gebreab in coming videos. Thank you for watching.